is dark and the lights are on. Welcome to qualifying here at the Marina Bay street circuit in Singapore. Well, the wet weather will certainly be causing some issues here today in Singapore. A wet or a damp circuit is always more problematic on a street track than the more traditional open tracks. If you make a mistake here, it could be a lost wing, or worse, you could be out of the session.
There's no doubt that the weather will play a big part in this session, but Singapore has an extra complication in that it's a night race. Visibility will be impaired further due to the lights reflecting off the surface, so the drivers are certainly going to be tested in qualifying today.
Hey guys, how's it going? Onage here. Welcome to a new F1 2015 Championship mode on the channel, as we are here now in Singapore, and as you can see, it's qualifying and it's raining. It's pouring down basically at the moment. We're in P9 with about 1 more minute to go in this qualifying session, and about to do one more lap then, of course, as well. We need to improve though, because P9 is not very far high up as at all, as we have got some traffic coming up behind us. As you can see on the minimap, it's our teammate in fact, so we do need to hurry up right now because we don't want to be in his way. And there we go then, setting a flyer, hopefully. Now I have to say, as we straight away, you can see how slippery it was there going off the track in the final corner already. Straight away I'm gonna have to ask, or say, not ask, say that this was my first go at the game in about 2 months. So it took me really a long while to get used to. And I noticed that there was one problem with the game. And this one problem made driving really uncomfortable for me for some reason. At the time I still had my G27, I have a different wheel right now. But I still had a G27 wheel, and sometimes the wheel would just, it was like it would disconnect for about half a second. I hope you can see it sometimes, especially on corner exits. This was annoying because basically the wheel would go straight for half a second while I would be pointing to left. Maybe you will see it here. No, not really, no. It didn't happen there. But that sometimes caused me to give taps to the barrier, and it happened like 4 times every single lap. It was really annoying. It also happened here. You don't really see it, as we have another beautiful corner cut. You don't really see it, but you do feel it. I didn't have it there, because you could see me turning the wheel quite a bit on the exit. Is it over here? No, not really. And I really, honestly, I had to get used quite a bit to the handling again. Obviously it's raining as well. I'm a little bit up at the end of the second sector, not too much. 1.3 seconds down on Hamilton already. I think there it was a little bit. You can see it when you focus on the wheel on corner exit. You can see it when it's like stuck for a little second. I also had some frame issues, so I really don't know what was going on. Especially over here I had it in the entry of the right-hander. Not that time. There's no clever or solid point to point it out right now. Yeah, there I think it was a little second. So it's like I'm already turning to the left, but the game hasn't responded yet, and the game only responds within half a second. But I think it's time for me to stop crying about it, as we said, a 158.1, and that was pretty much it already.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
It's Sunday evening here at the Marina Bay street circuit, and the cars are being prepared for what is going to be a fascinating event. It's time for the Singapore Grand Prix. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
He'll want to stay out of trouble over the first few laps, but he'll be determined not to let any cars past him. If he can maintain that position once everything's settled down, he'll have a massive advantage and be able to control the race.
The dominant force so far this season has been Mercedes. They have the best car and 2 of the best drivers on the grid. It's hard to not see them maintaining their ascendancy throughout the rest of the season.
Mercedes have such a great setup. They have great leadership, and in Lewis and Nico they have 2 drivers that are capable of winning the World Championship. I guess their hardest challenge is trying to manage the intense competition between their drivers.
So a massive 2 seconds advantage for the Mercedes guys there. Incredible. I was just way too slow. Yeah, I can blame it on that I haven't driven in a long period, but I would like to blame it on myself. I simply was not good enough to achieve a position higher than 8th. Anyway, we are going to race. Let's see if the pace can develop a little bit. And also the race start is wet. It's full wet conditions here at the moment. starting in 8th place as we are underway. Relatively good start here, that has to be said. Usually the starts are pretty poor. Diving on the inside of, I think that was a Williams. It was indeed. A little bit of fighting obviously up ahead as well. And up into P6, so not too bad. Gained 2 positions at the start. The achievement for today is P5 as Raikkonen goes side by side with Ricciardo. See whether we can try to, as I have a massive oversteer moment there. Let's try to hammer down here and capitalize on this situation. On the inside of Raikkonen over here, pretty slightly later than we do. We still have a sniff on the inside though, and Raikkonen being really kind, having the door wide open through there. Up to P4, so not bad at all. 4th place is gained, and up to P4. That was pretty much where I was happy with at this stage. So let's see whether we can spot whether the wheel stops turning basically at the end of some corners. I think in this video I have left out a little bit of contact with the barrier here and there sometimes, so I think it will be pretty clear what it's like. Sometimes you see it really heavy and it's really obvious. It hasn't been really that obvious so far though, as far as I can judge. To P4, behind Vettel in front of Raikkonen. 1.5 seconds to Vettel at this stage. Yeah, usually in the rain we are pretty strong, but honestly I thought at this stage already that I had to settle down and that I wouldn't really be able to fight with those guys, but we'll see. I think there was it a little bit, just a bit though. It doesn't look massive indeed, but it's, it puts you really off, to be honest. And the whole time underneath the grandstand I had some FPS troubles. You can see it in the video as well. It's not all that fluid at all. And we're going to end the first lap over here. Also a lot of off-track excursions, I would like to call them. Not paying attention to the track limits a lot. Once again coming out underneath the grandstand. The top 3 not really pulling away, apart from the leader himself. We are able to stick with Vettel quite nicely. In front of him, I think it is Hamilton or Rosberg. I hope it's Rosberg, because Rosberg is the championship leader. Don't want him to be racing around in 1st place. As indeed, I think Hamilton is leading. Yeah, he is. So that's good news. 158.752 from us there. And a gap of 1.8 seconds to Vettel up front. Again, bit of a corner cut. Pretty horrible, to be honest. Bit of oversteer there, but it has to be expected a little bit of wheel spin. It's raining relatively hard. You get used to these conditions as well, and the tires are slowly but surely starting to wear a little bit. Although having said that, the wear wasn't all that high around Singapore. Having a bit of a poor first sector, lost some time to Vettel and also lost some time to Raikkonen. There it was! That was a great example. Like, I was at the exit there, I was turning to the right, but it took like 7/10 of a second, maybe a little bit less, before the game recognized that I turned to the right. And oh man, it's sometimes so annoying, and I definitely felt like it cost me time as well, because the wheel just would not respond. It didn't really happen usually on corner entry for some reason. Although, having said that, it did occasionally happen, but it mostly happened on corner exits. But it's very hard to spot it when watching it. You have to feel it, because also the force feedback falls away when you do that. So there it was as well, just a little bit of a stuck frame. It almost looks like it. And it wasn't always a stuck frame, by the way. Usually the frames would just, the game wouldn't stop or anything. It would just keep on going. Only the turning input, the steering input would stop. I was going to ask you guys for advice on, how can I fix this, but after this race it was already fixed. I don't know whether it has something to do with the video drivers or anything else graphically related. However, let's keep on focused on the race, lap 7 of this race, and it's interesting to see that Vettel hasn't really pulled away. To be honest, Hamilton has got the pace. I mean, he's controlling the race from the front, that's for sure, but honestly, Vettel isn't really pulling away. And it's not like Rosberg and Vettel are slowing each other down, because they aren't really battling all that hard. You don't see side-by-side action or anything. They are within relatively clean air. Of course, Vettel is pretty close behind Rosberg, about 1 to 2 seconds, but still. There was a little bit of a lag, and again a bit over there too, so a bit annoying of course. But it is the way it is, and you may have noticed as well by the video length, as we make a tremendous extent. There we go. Oh, get banged on. That is a penalty which has been deserved. That's a deserved penalty. And as you can see, I just thought, what do I have to do right now? And then in the next corner, I just outbroke myself as well. It was this point where I just, was like, okay, I have to reset my mind, because if I keep doing this, it's just so silly. Over here again, going way too deep into that corner. But the video length is so short, and then all of a sudden the recording says boom, bye bye. And that was pretty much all I had for recording footage, and I was like, what happened over here? I did finish the race, but the recording stopped. Now here's a little bit of a thing. The recording has stopped from that point in the race onwards, but it also did not record the next race. I think it was Suzuka. The next recorded race is Sochi. What I did at the end of this race, I don't know whether I finished 3rd or 4th or whatever. I don't really know my finishing position. I do know that I had quite a big battle with Raikkonen towards the end of that race, and I would have loved to show that, because that was pretty cool. To be honest, after that point, which we have just seen, I just reset my mind, because the way I took, my approach was just not right. I cut at so many corners, and it was really dirty driving, so that penalty was fully deserved, of course. So I thought, like, that's not the way to go, so I slowed down, paid more attention to the track limits. Obviously the top 3 managed to pull away quite a bit, but the battle with me and Raikkonen heated up, and that continued to the end of the race, where it also, I think, started to dry up. I did finish this race. I don't know which position it was though. And then in Suzuka I recorded as well. I think I finished 2nd or 3rd there, but in all these races I finished behind my championship rival Rosberg. I have to say that I must apologize that I lost those files. It is because basically of the hard disk being almost full. I think I had like 20 gigs available, which is usually enough for a whole race. I record with NVIDIA Shadowplay, but apparently Shadowplay has like a limit where if it's like at 15 or 20 gigabytes, it just will stop recording, so it won't use the full space of the hard drive. This is exactly what happened, and I have to apologize once again, because I found it such a shame that those files were lost. Suzuka wasn't the most exciting race ever, but still, I feel bad about it, and I feel bad that I cannot show this race either. But I guess it's the way it is, and I can do a lot more than that, to be honest. I tried to do my best to, find the files in any way I could, obviously, but, there's no way you can find those files when they are simply not being saved on the disk. So once again, I really have to be sorry. Also sorry for the very short video and the driving standards in this video, because they were shit, let's be honest. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video, and I shall end it here. Hope you have enjoyed it, and see you next time. Goodbye.